22, 23, 24, about a little over 4 years.
Okay, in that 4 years' time, I mean, these incidents at school covered this amount of time. It wasn't happening every day, you know, but there's always something going on.
And so why did you, then you moved to Detroit? Why did you move to
Taos?
Oh, went to Taos City.
Taos City in East Taos. That house is still standing in East Taos there.
And then how long did you live there?
Till about the summer of 26.
26.
We weren't there too long.
No.
About a year and a half after we left the farm.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I remember going to school in
We
Taos.
lived on the west side of Detroit with the Jonases.
Yeah, but going to school there. But that country schoolhouse is the one that I have the most memories of. There was, you might say, more action, and more things going on.
I got more memories of the Depression.
Do you? Yeah, what, in Detroit?
Yeah, when we lived in those flats. Remember, we were going to move back to Calumet in 29? Remember that, don't you?
I didn't remember where we were going to move back.
Ma wanted to move back to, just like Mary wants to move back to Detroit now. Ma wanted to move back, and we packed everything and left in 29. Sold everything.
This was after the crash?
Before the crash.
Before the crash.
And in the summer of 29. We all went to Calumet. That's where I remember starting school in the 4th grade in Calumet. Started school, and then they decided to come. It wasn't that good up Calumet. We came back to Detroit in September, and school had already started. And I didn't want to go to school.
Well, I remember that was quite common with you, wasn't it?
Well, that was for a while there.
My mother said, Norman, you had to have an excuse, you know, when you went to school then. If you didn't show up.
In the city, you had to have an excuse. You couldn't burn it down.
if you had to have an excuse in the Detroit schools, if you were gone 3 days, a truant officer showed up looking for you. So anyway, she wasn't going to lie. See, my mother wouldn't lie. So she wrote a note for Norman. It says, Norman didn't feel like going to school yesterday.
You know, what was it? Let's see. And then that's when the Depression quit after Dad came back and he rented a furnished apartment. We moved in that. And then the Depression hit.
On the west side.
No, on the east side, on Gothi. I remember that. And then we moved. Then we had to find another place.
No, that was a house.
No, it was an apartment. I remember it was all furnished because you had sold everything before when we went to Calumet. Sold everything, and well, then we moved in those flats there on Fairview. And those were something, boy. We used to have
right opposite the playground
with all the kids in there. I don't know how the grown-ups stood it.
Lots of kids, huh?
Yeah, that old rifle. Did you bring that rifle back from Calumet? That 22 single shot?
Yeah,
we were shooting that thing in
that was in East Town. No,
that was in Detroit because Bob Fritch and I and us kids were shooting that thing down the basement, and I had a wagon in a little, like a bin there with a door on it.
Yeah.
He shot that wagon full of holes.
That must have been a different one because I had
I don't know. That came from Calumet. That gun. I don't know.
No, I didn't. I was too young there. When we were
This is 29.
When we were in East Taos.
30 somewhere.
When we were in or in Taos City, I don't know how I acquired this little 22. I think I traded a BB gun for it.
Hey, why did your folks then leave Taos and go to Detroit? What was the reason for that?
My dad had been to Detroit several times before, you know. Even from the farm, he came to Detroit and had a job at Lincoln Motor there.
He make more money, make more money.
Then he'd go back to the farm, you know. He probably worked a while, got laid off, and went back up to the farm. And then he decided. Well, his sister was in Detroit.
Well, there's a lot of
Then they decided to move, I guess, to move to Detroit.
There's a lot of Finns on the west side of Detroit.
Just more money and...
Yeah. So that's left Taos and
better...
But then in 29 we went back up there after 3 years.
Everybody wants to go
home. My mother thought
I
she got homesick for Calumet. Like Graham's getting homesick for Detroit.
Well, I can remember when I was a kid on the farm, I used to think a lot about Calumet.
Yeah.
You know, or not Calumet, it was Sweet Town Hill, and how it was there, you know, and all the kids we played with, and things like that. And it's, I guess, a kid, you get a little homesick.
Of course, when the Depression hit, I didn't know that. Who was the kid didn't know the difference.
Didn't know.
You didn't know when it hit.
Actually, it was always a Depression for us.
Wow. I'll tell you the truth. I didn't know how poor we were until I got into high school.
Yeah. Well,
and I see what some of the other kids had.
Yeah.
It was poor for me till I got out of the army.
Yeah.
Because
well, it was slow getting out of that recession.
The work was slow. Always, you know, there's ups and downs all the time. Like it's getting to be now.
Just barely made a living.
You work half a year, 5-6 months, and you're laid off.
You know, the auto plants were that way. The auto
Yeah.
plants were very. I worked 3 months in an auto plant, never went back.